Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hi, everybody.
I had to do my YouTube intro, but this is Twitch. Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Office Hours. You got a couple of rookies here, or returning veterans.
Something like that.
It's been a very long time since either of us have been on the Office Hours. Long enough that we're like in a different studio now and like everything.
Different rooms.
We were in like that room before, now we're in this room.
But we're here. We're back.
Yay. Hi, I am Audrey Rar. Round is what people call me. My name is Audrey.
And I'm Joe. Good to see everybody.
Just Joe. Hello, BW Picouli. I don't think that's how your name is pronounced, but I'm going with it. BW Picouli. Pims, hello.
Yes.
Barry, hello. Marthia Skoltara.
I think you got it.
I'm trying.
Yep.
I'm trying really hard.
Booped us. Thank you for the boop.
Boop.
Seriously, yo, thanks for subscribing.
It was like 9 months, right? Yes, 9 months.
We appreciate that. All of the sub revenue, as well as tips, bits, that sort of thing that come into the channel, go towards our Office Hours sort of fund, our Office Hours giveaway fund.
Yes.
No less.
And we have news about said fund of giveaway funds. It's actually going to happen, guys. I know we've been saying it for a very long time. Like, we're going to do a giveaway soon. We're going to do a giveaway soon. It's actually going to happen. February. Look out for it in February. You'll see it on our socials. You'll see it announced officially here in Office Hours. And if it doesn't happen in February, blame Oliver.
Yes, blame Oliver.
I told him that I would say that, and I'm saying it. Because I feel like every time I come on this show, I always talk about we're going to do a giveaway.
Yep.
And then it like doesn't, it hasn't happened. But like all your contribution to our channel, to giving subs and any tips and bits, anything like that, that has kind of accumulated is the word I'm looking for. Wow. Into a fund, and now we have, enough funds in there to actually do an amount of giveaways. So be on the lookout for those, my friends. It's actually going to happen now.
And though the giveaways are geared towards helping folks get started streaming or enhance their stream setup or do something with their channels.
Yeah. Like I think we did a giveaway before that like had you could get a video edited from your, like a stream highlight video edited professionally, and then we had another one where there was like, you got, I don't remember, a web around?
Web around.
Yeah, where it's like a green screen attached to your chair.
Yeah, some like webcams and stuff like that, so.
All kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yay, it's actually happening. I already won, where's the next one? Always blame Oliver, that is usually what I go with as well. I find it to just be the easiest way to go.
Absolutely. When in doubt.
When Jamar's not here.
Blame Oliver. Yeah.
You have to blame Oliver.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we've got some news to talk about. This has been a busy week and as well as even just a busy day today.
Yeah. Producer Oliver allotted 5 minutes for our news time, but
we're going to need more time.
Yeah. I'm going to add a 0 to the end of that. We're just going to talk about this for like an hour. No.
So the first one on here for us is that we've seen rumors sort of kicking around of a Knights of the Old Republic or KOTOR remake.
How do you feel about this, Joe?
So
because you've played the game, right?
I've played some of the game. I've not completed the game.
OPG bot in here saying it's Oliver's fault. Damn, even the robots are saying it. Oh my god.
I love those BioWare like RPGs, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, that style. And KOTOR is very much in that same vein, a little bit earlier than both of those, I believe. But I was trying to run KOTOR a couple of years ago on my Windows 10 machine, and
modern computer.
Exactly. I've hit a bug in doing this, where after combat, sometimes it's about a 50-50 chance that the game will just freeze.
I know, and I've actually seen one of our clients, Kill Carnage, has been trying to play KOTOR, and he's had a lot of issues. Like, he's had internet issues already, but then it's more than that. Like, it just isn't running very well, and it's like, I watched him. He was kind of cheesing a fight
Yeah.
a little bit, and he actually won. It was very good, but he had to keep like restarting the fight, not because like he was losing, but because the game just kept crashing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, gosh, it's frustrating. Like I tried a few years ago to play Couture, and I just like, I think the turn-based stuff is what kind of turns me off a little bit. I'm not a big fan of that. But my husband, like, oh my God, he loves that game. It's one of his favorite games. So
it's really fun. I am a really big fan of that. Like I guess like Star Wars Legends. Like before they were like, hey guys, this isn't canon anymore.
All the canon is gone.
We're throwing this in the trash, and we're doing this new canon stuff. So I'm a big fan of that.
I didn't even think about
material,
that. How if they're now talking about remaking Knights of the Old Republic, that would make it canon again.
Potentially.
Well,
I think so.
Well, I think because I think they've taken away the rights from any company that they don't want to make content, and they had to agree to the content.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on
That
what
would
they
make sense.
actually make. If they actually just do a true remake of Couture, or if they make a second, or sometimes people think a third one as well. Like if you consider the Old Republic, the MMO, like a sequel, then I've seen a lot of people just want more of that. They want a continuation of the story. From my side, I'm super excited to get a remake because I would love to play Couture, and I don't know if they would make it the same as they did before. Like I don't know if it would be the turn-based combat anymore. I know nobody's gonna like me saying this. I kind of hope it isn't, but you know, like if it is, I'll still play it. I love Star Wars like so much. So.
I think that they would definitely put some more modern spins on it, or like if they're not. And I feel like I've seen this in games before where if they're doing a remake, they'll have like the original combat mode in there if you'd like, or you can choose to do it with like a new and updated combat system.
You want to do like seamless combat or something like that, you could do that.
So there are a lot of different ways to do it. Of course, nothing has been officially announced. It is just rumors at this point.
Everything about Star Wars is always just a rumor for like ever. I love it.
But it's exciting because I think that the game would be a massive hit.
Yeah, it really would.
People, especially with like, you know, the even like resurgence of popularity around The Witcher, with the TV series that just came out, and the impending like craze about cyberpunk and some of these like more like old school style single player RPGs that are really deep in like lore and exploration. There's a really big demand for those kind of games, and KOTOR is one of those.
Absolutely one of those, yeah. And Fearless, Oliver, brings up a really good point, that they're looking to make some of the new movies and shows about the Old Republic like era of things, the High Republic, stuff like that, which I am so freaking excited for, because that is some of my favorite lore from Star Wars. Is all that stuff like when the Jedi High Council was just like a thing and people knew about Jedi. I mean, if you were on the Outer Rim, you probably didn't know, but you knew that they existed. But like that was just like a norm. I love that stuff so much. I'm super excited to see more things about that, and possibly some stuff about Revan, which is, you know, he's the main kind of center of Couture and everything like that. So toss a coin to your Witcher. Don't make me sing it. I'm like in a singing mood. That's like my favorite song, by the way.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So video games in this era would make sense.
And would be a whole lot of fun. So
I heard that Revan is canon now because apparently one of the statues in, sorry if you haven't seen the new Star Wars, it's been like a month and a half, but one of the statues on the Sith planet, in that whole like weird area, was Revan.
Okay,
apparently.
interesting.
But I don't know if that's actually like officially in the visual dictionary, or if it was just like people think it looks like him.
Okay.
It was him. Yes. Okay. Then there we go. It's officially canon. Which, I mean, there was no reason not to make him canon. Like I just did.
He's got a real cool helmet.
He's got,
which
all the Siths got really cool like gear every time.
With like Kylo Ren, and then obviously like the Mandalorian and resurgence of popularity around that. Like, we need more characters with cool masks.
Armor. Yeah. You know what? I have to say though, we're looking at images of him.
Yeah, we are.
And his helmet. This is gonna sound really weird. It looks kind of like, I don't know what the ship is called, but the ship that Boba Fett pilots.
The Slave One,
Slave One. Yeah, it kind of looks like the front of Slave One.
Yeah, I see
it's just his face. I don't know.
The viewport and everything.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look it up. Google it. See what you think.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's so much news to cover. So the next part of the news section is new Apex Legends content released today.
Yes.
Again, new Apex. I feel like they just came out with stuff like a month ago, but I guess that's how games go now, huh? They actually like release new content on a regular basis.
Fancy that.
Imagine that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All the games I've ever loved just don't do that.
So that's exciting. Apex obviously was hugely popular when it launched last year, and has retained popularity and like it's a free game that they release for everybody to play, and they're kind of they're continually updating it and putting in new features and trying to keep things fresh, which is really important for a game in this day and age. And I just love to see the competition out there for, in the battle royale genre specifically. I think it's really good to have different competition, because in the end, it just makes better games.
Yeah. And Respawn's such a passionate company too. Like I'm happy to see them succeeding. But if you like Apex Legends, it's the Kings Canyon After Dark. So it's you play Kings Canyon, but in the nighttime, I guess. And using the Shadowfall game mode, which is actually really cool. So I tried Apex Legends when it first came out, and it was like when it wasn't running so well for a lot of people, and it just was like it was like a slideshow, and you can't play a battle royale when it's like that.
No, you can't.
So I just kind of never went back to play it again. And I also I don't know if I don't think they've added it so far. I feel like I would have known, but I wish there was like a solo. You could do it solo, because I mean before it was only like 3 people. Yeah. Which I was like, I don't like to play with strangers.
But
I do like to play with strangers.
They are gonna, and I think that they kind of have encountered the same thing as Overwatch did, right? Is like they put together a really fun, competitive, fast-paced shooter game, which is purely PvP, right?
Yeah.
Like, and they have these interesting characters that they've built out, but we don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
I want to know more about the robot guy, Pathfinder.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, and there's lots of cool costumes and outfits and stuff like that they put into the game, but there isn't that single player experience that tells you the story of this world. Why are we diving into this arena?
And I mean, if they find enough, if they feel like they've been successful enough to make kind of a sequel or another another game, then they might kind of go along that same Overwatch route of like, okay, we're gonna make it so there's more story mode kind of things. And like, when I remember just talking about Overwatch for a second, like when I first saw that, like the first trailer for it at BlizzCon. BlizzCon. I thought it was like an RPG, like style, like story based game, and I was like so down for that. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's not exactly what I thought. Still cool, just not really my kind of thing. So when they were like, we're gonna do more story stuff, I'm like, yes, I will buy it. Let's see.
New content is good.
New content is good. And then speaking of new content, brand new game that has taken Twitch by storm is Temtem.
Yep.
Temtem, not what are they? They tweeted about it the other day. They're like, not TomTom or Temtem or Term. It's Temtem. Okay.
Yes.
Dangerous to say, but Temtem is just kind of like Pokemon, but like an MMO.
Yep.
Tam is the British. Tam is the British candy. Yes.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Tarkov is where it's at, is what Barry says. But I mean, you gotta give it to Temtem right now. Like, it's down there a little bit now, but
it's top 20 on the highest
directory
on the Twitch directory in terms of just pure viewership. But the game has just been inescapable the last few days, and I'm really excited about Temtem. I've been playing Pokemon Shield on my Switch that I got for Christmas, and it's been super, super fun, and made me remember that all these years ago when I was playing WoW and people were talking about at the same time like wow, what if Pokemon did an MMO, right? Like MMOs became so popular, but that was one that we never saw.
Yeah, and I'm not sure we will.
No, I don't think that we ever will.
I mean, I've been really impressed with they announced that they're having a DLC for Sword and Shield, which I never thought that was going to happen in a million years, that they would DLC a Pokemon game. But so I feel like there's definitely we may get an MMO someday, especially with the success of Temtem.
Yep.
I almost said the wrong one. But they might look at that and be like, okay, people actually do want this. They've been saying it, but we didn't know.
Yep.
And they actually really want an MMO style kind of Pokemon game.
Yeah.
So, but I like Temtem. I think it's a little bit different enough. It's pretty cute.
Yep.
I was watching Professor Broman today, and he was playing it, and he was fighting this other person that had a bird like Temtem that looked like Pennywise. It had a really big forehead, and I could not get away from that is Pennywise.
Yep.
It freaked me out, but maybe I'm just, Professor Broman's chat is all about clowns, so maybe I'm just fully indoctrinated into the clown life there.
Yeah, but it's a really neat idea to put sort of this monster collecting, monster battling game where you craft your team, and then Pokemon has always had a competitive scene, but back in the day you needed a link cable to be able to play, and then obviously
or just cards, cards.
or your cards. But now
I am projecting. You're right.
they have. In the more recent iterations, I know for Nintendo 3DS, you could play through the online service to battle people, but you were never able to explore these big, rich worlds that are persistent in those kind of games, but actually be able to run around and interact with
meet people,
other player characters in the world. So being able to do that is really cool.
It's really cool.
Good on you, Temtem.
And it's really cool to see a big game like this with an indie developer team.
Yep.
And they have been so on it. They're constantly working around the clock, trying to just make everything work, because any title that releases on Steam first day it's a mess every time, no matter what company it is, right? But it's a lot harder when you're an indie dev, because you got 10 people trying to do everything instead of an entire team of 50 or so people trying to just fix it from different angles. So they had a lot of server issues for the first 24, 48 hours. A lot of people couldn't connect to the game properly, but you had people consistently trying, and because they actually really wanted to play. It wasn't just okay, that's fine, I'll just give up and I won't go back. It's been pretty consistent, and people now, most of the problems are fixed. A lot of people are just on it, just going. And
especially in such a sort of unproven, nobody's made a game that's exactly like this before. And for a small indie developer team like that, they don't have all the resources of a Blizzard or EA and Respawn when they're launching Apex Legends. Their resources are very finite, so they don't know how many people want to play their games.
And then suddenly it's
So we did see some people that weren't very happy about the server issues, which is understandable as a consumer. You've spent your money on this game. You hope that it can play. But in reality, it's just because they got so overloaded with these people that are really passionate and want to play their game. It's a good problem to have.
It's bittersweet.
If you gotta have one.
Yeah, if you gotta have a problem, that's a good one to have. Yeah.
So and it seems like they've really been getting it squared away. Like you said, and people have been playing and having fun.
It looks cute.
It really does.
You gotta give it a try. It's adorable.
Yeah.
And then possibly on to our biggest, most breaking news segment on Office Hours today.
Yeah.
I literally learned about this as producer Oliver was typing it out on this Google Doc that we have.
Yep.
Activision Blizzard and Google just entered into a multi-year partnership which, you haven't heard about this one yet. Oh, it includes some interesting things. So, like, one of them is that Google Cloud, oh my God, phone, stop. Google Cloud will serve as the preferred provider for Activision Blizzard game hosting now. And the biggest part to me is that YouTube will become the exclusive streaming platform for esports events for Activision Blizzard, such as Overwatch League, Hearthstone esports, Call of Duty League, and really any other Activision Blizzard esports that there is. So like any WoW tournaments that they might do, dungeon runs, anything like that. All of that stuff is going to be on YouTube now exclusively. I know for me, like, I watch the Hearthstone Championships. Like, every year. I watch the whole thing. And I'm like, whoa, okay, not going to be on Twitch anymore. Just have to shift over to YouTube to watch that stuff. Okay. It is interesting because they had, like, especially with Hearthstone, they had, like, some Twitch integrations there. Like, if you had Prime and stuff like that, you could connect it to your Twitch and you would get different things in Hearthstone. Like, you would get a card back if you were watching the tournament. So I wonder if they're going to find ways to connect that Google and YouTube with Blizzard now. I mean, I'm assuming yes. But you got to get those card backs, you know.
Yeah, and it'll create a lot of traffic for YouTube. Because in the past you've been able to go back and watch some of the matches and stuff like that on YouTube, but if you want to watch it live, it's a one-stop shop.
Oh my gosh, Overwatch League.
So I pulled up the Overwatch League statistics on here for 2019, and Overwatch League is one of those channels. I personally follow it on Twitch. That like whenever you have it in your directory and they're live with a match, like it's gonna be
top.
It's gonna be the top, if not like right up there. And in 2019 alone, Overwatch League generated almost 5 billion minutes of viewed content on their channel.
Billion.
With
a B.
4.85 billion minutes of Overwatch League were watched on Twitch last year.
Holy cow.
So
that's wild.
I mean, a lot of content is watched on Twitch, right? Like, this is not going to, I don't think, break Twitch's backbone to lose this, but it's a lot of eyes. It's a lot of ad revenue that's being generated. And not only are they losing it, but it's also going to YouTube and Google, which is one of their largest competitors. And like, so it's really interesting to see this happen.
In the press release, which is not especially exciting to read, but you can read it if you want to, they mention how it says YouTube is the largest, like, gaming platform. Or game viewing platform. And I actually, like, thought about that statement a little bit because, like, you know, I watch most of my stuff on Twitch. I'll go to Mixer sometimes, too. I don't watch a ton of streams on YouTube, but it's not just about streaming. You know, there's the video content on YouTube. I mean, I used to spend I still spend a lot of time on YouTube, but not for gaming. But, like, that was like a big thing for getting into gaming for me, was watching YouTube content. And that is like, I mean, some of the most popular YouTubers are gaming content related.
Absolutely.
PewDiePie, Markiplier, like, you know, that they're gaming channels for the most part. And so, yeah, I mean, it probably is one of the biggest gaming platforms out there, which is like a weird statement to say, but it's true.
Yeah, it's been around for longer than Twitch.
Oh my God, like a billion years.
It feels like it, but it's really interesting to see how this is going to play out. It has some other implications too, right? Like, they're entering into this partnership. There's been a lot of buzz about, and it's purely speculation, obviously, but like, does Blizzard ever want to break with Activision and go back to just being Blizzard?
Yeah, would they be able to buy the shares to basically buy their name back for themselves from Activision? And if they did that,
even that they're interested in doing.
If they're interested, which I don't feel like they are at this time. With like the leadership and everything over there. But if they were, what would that mean for this? Like, it's Activision Blizzard. So if Blizzard just breaks off from that, is it just Activision has this now? So like, you know, Call of Duty would be on there still, but what about all the Blizzard games? Like, I imagine I would love to see this contract, right? Like I would imagine there is so much language in there about Blizzard specifically, and if that happened, I would hope at least that they would cover their bases like that. But I guess you never know.
That contract's probably 100 pages long.
Yeah, I mean, I say I would love to see it, but I'm gonna skip through that. Let's be real. But I think it's interesting because I wonder if we're gonna see different types of content from these channels now. Like Overwatch League, I think has already been trying to do some different stuff.
Yeah.
Like how far beyond that are they gonna extend, or maybe they'll just play it safe for a while.
Yep.
And to just like get people over to YouTube first and then kind of do different experimental stuff. Apparently they claim that players will experience premium network quality of service, including low latency and packet loss when playing high fidelity games on any device, with the Google hosting, which is really interesting.
Yep.
Because, I mean, we know that everyone has been trying to make like game streaming, like playing to a different device, like a thing for a while.
Yep.
And it hasn't been super successful. Like Stadia was not great.
Didn't do as well as everybody was hoping.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like they're really trying to push on this and make it successful. So I think it kind of makes sense to do it with Blizzard games because, like, they're not super like hard to run titles.
Absolutely.
Because they're just optimized so well. So I feel like that might be a good start for that.
Yeah, Blizzard especially, and I think Activision Blizzard. I think Activision also, a lot of like more, I guess, traditional Activision titles would fall under this, as like they want people to play their games. They want as many people to be able to play their games as possible. So they're not going to release a game that has insane graphical requirements. Like I guess the example is Crysis, right? Like that people, you know, will be blocked from playing because their hardware can't handle it. So
they want to avoid that as much as possible too.
So I think that just like you said is a good fit there, and it'll be interesting to see how that like plays out.
Yeah. And then the one final piece of this, which I find very scary and interesting. Maybe not scary, maybe just interesting. They're looking to provide optimal personalization interactions via the Google Cloud AI, to offer like curated recommendations for in-game offers and gaming experiences. You know, and I think about this, and I'm like, I should have seen it coming, because only a few months ago they had like a stream where they showed Google AI playing against StarCraft pros. And the AI just learned how to play and play against these people and learn their moves, and then just like creamed them. Like, it's scary almost, like how good it did. And it's so fast that it just reacts way faster than a person could. And in StarCraft, like, it's all about reaction time. Like, click, 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 you know. So,
yes, indeed.
Is the robot revolution. Like, it's terrifying a little bit. And, you know, to have it in your, like, say, your Overwatch game, and you go in and you look at some, you know, some of the boxes that you may be able to buy, and it'll give you, like, curated what's inside the box based on what you usually use or like, which is cool, but also just a little weird. I don't know, I feel like an old fuddy-duddy a little bit, but it's a little weird.
It is. Like, for example, when you load into, we'll use Overwatch as an example because it's a good one. When you load into Overwatch, at the home screen, they always have some sort of advertisement to let you know, oh, it's, you know, like, the Halloween event is going on, so you can get these cool Halloween themed skins with, you know, in the loot boxes or by playing games. You know, they give you these advertisements about what's going on in game, but if there start to be more advertisements that go into the, like, I'm fine with it kind of on the menu where you're at the main menu and it's not really hindering your gameplay. But if I'm in a game and like they're like, hey, we saw that you played Tracer 3 times. Check out this new skin that Tracer has that you can buy. Like, I'm gonna not be a super big fan of that.
Yeah,
because
and I mean,
immersion is just so much of a component of gaming that, like, it's, you know, escaping from the world for a little bit to go and do and experience something else. And then to have, like, be like, you already you already spent money on the game, and if you're playing the game and then they're like, hey, spend more money.
Yeah. And AI advertisement is already like a little terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, like I know I just had a scenario this week where like, okay, Dutch Bros Coffee is a coffee company like in like Oregon and Washington, and I go up there and visit family, and I love going to Dutch Bros. Like they are fantastic. It's like a little drive-through coffee place, and they're amazing. So they posted something on Facebook, and I commented on it, just saying how I wish Dutch Bros was in Southern California because I'm a nerd. And then I'm also in a Facebook group about Baby Yoda. It's like Baby Yoda dank memes. It's the Facebook group I'm in. But it's a Baby Yoda Facebook group. So clearly I like Baby Yoda. I like Dutch Bros. The Facebook intelligence put those things together and produced for me an ad for a shirt with Baby Yoda holding a Dutch Bros cup. And I was like, this is creepy. And there were so many, I read the comments of it, and there's so many people in the comments that like, this isn't like legit. I like talked to Dutch Bros about this, and they're gonna take this down. Don't buy this shirt. Like all this, I was like, this is like all these people are in the same boat with me, where they like Dutch Bros and they like Baby Yoda, so they're getting this creepy shirt. It was adorable. I kind of want it, but yeah, it's creepy. Like I don't like that. The Facebook advertising freaks me out. So like I don't need that in my video games too.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't. Like if I go to play Diablo 3 and it's just like, hey, Diablo 4 is coming out soon. I'm like, I already know. You don't need to tell me in the game. Don't be creepy.
Yeah. And our producer Adri sent us a note where like this has even like come into the forefront with art being stolen by these bots that will skim Twitter, and what are some of the other sites that they like?
DeviantArt used to be a thing.
DeviantArt.
Tumblr.
And they'll go through and skim art for these to make like curated T-shirts or T-shirts that are like like built from using hot words and search terms and stuff like that.
If it like includes Disney characters, Disney, like Baby Yoda, Disney cracks down on that stuff like crazy hard.
Yep.
So it's like you may make something that you just made as an artist and you want to post for fun for your friends. You have your watermark on it, whatnot, and it's not something that you're selling, but then somebody might steal it and start selling T-shirts with this thing on it that. Well, first of all, they already stole it from you.
Yep. Like
they stole your art and didn't credit you. But then, who gets in trouble in this scenario? I think we're going into like totally different land here. But like, I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I don't know.
You don't want the mouse coming after you guys.
No, you never want the mouse to come after you. No. He's a very scary mouse.
Yep. Don't mess with the
mouse.
Yep.
I just went to Star Wars Land, and it was amazing.
Jelly.
And I would not mess with that mouse. He built a very amazing land. He spent a lot of money on it. He can have it.
Did you drink the green milk or the blue milk?
I think, which one did I have? I think I had the blue one.
Okay.
But I tried the green one too, or the yellow. It's kind of yellow. It was so good. So they provide these like little tiny cups. Like it's smaller than your cup here. Like it's very small, like this big, okay, filled with this stuff. And I'm like, this is not going to be enough. It's like rice milk. Kind of, or something, or with like coconut milk in it too, so it's thick, and it lasted me like 40 minutes. It took me so long to drink this little tiny cup. It was really good.
How much is it?
It's like $8 or something.
Yeah, that sounds like Disney prices.
But it's good. You expect to spend a bunch of money when you go to Disney, I think.
Yeah.
So. Fearless Oliver says, I tried both. I remember liking one more than the other, but I don't remember which. There was definitely one that had more flavor than the other one. And I think it was the yellow one that wasn't as flavorful. But then none of them were sweet. Like they weren't, well, I mean, they were sweet, but they weren't like overly sweet. Like you expect something like that to be. Like it's pretty colors and it's at Disneyland. It's probably like really crazy rich or sweet. They like, it tasted just like good. It was just pleasant.
Now, do you think we're going to start seeing some Mandalorian stuff in Disneyland and Disney World?
I think, okay, so as a Disney expert,
yes.
I don't think they'll put that stuff in Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
So there are two parts of the park that have Star Wars stuff. There is Galaxy's Edge, which is the new Star Wars land. It's all the way in the back of the park. It's a pain in the ass to get to, but it's beautiful. And then they have Star Tours, which is in Tomorrowland, which is towards the front of the park.
Okay, yeah.
And they're not going to move Star Tours anywhere. That's just going to stay there. They're never going to shut it down because it's way too popular. And they have a Star Wars like gift shop when you get off Star Tours.
Yeah.
And so that is where you used to be able to do all your Star Wars stuff. You could build a lightsaber there, which I think they still do because it's like the cheaper one, not like the $200 one. And it's not like role played as much. Like Galaxy's Edge, like everyone that works there lives there, right? And they follow the rules of Bantu. That's the planet that you're on.
Okay.
And so like you had to, say, you can't just say lightsaber to people because they're like, the First Order is around. Just be careful, kind of thing like that. How do we get back on Star Wars? What happened?
It's just
But I think they would sell that stuff over in Star Tours area because it's more like they actually have things there that say Star Wars. In Galaxy's Edge, nothing says Star Wars.
Okay.
Because it's like you're in the Star War.
Yeah. You're living it.
You are living the Star War. Anyway, so off topic.
Yes.
And we still have one more news thing to talk about.
We do.
We'll be very safe about this. So there is a streamer, and her clip has been getting passed around a lot over the last week. Her name is Bad Bunny, and she has a interesting clip where she is we'll get into it, but basically in the clip, if you watch it, she is kind of yelling and demanding subs from her viewers. Yeah. And she says, it's just $5, just sub. I asked for subs and I haven't gotten any. Where are the subs at? Kind of thing like that. Bad Bunny, we've seen her kind of around before a little bit if you pay attention to kind of Twitch drama and things like that. This isn't the first time she's done something kind of like this before, but the thing from her core audience and from her is that it's sarcasm. It's a joke on her channel. It's kind of a joke, like a running thing, which I could definitely see. Like a lot of context gets taken out when you just have a clip, when you're not a member of that community. Yeah. You just remove a lot of the context you need for background. Yeah. But there's also just like, well, it's even without the context. If I was just like saying something like that and I knew that it could just be clipped out of context, which anything can be on Twitch. Yep. That would not be very great, right? I wouldn't want to be represented like that. So I think there's part of it just being careful of what you say, even if it's just joking, even if it's just sarcasm. But also, like, it's happened before. So, and the argument has really come up of like, interesting. The argument has really come up of Twitch is a free platform. You watch ads on Twitch because that's what pays for you to watch Twitch for free. You have the option to pay certain people, basically, it's basically a tip, like a subscription to get extra services out of their channel, right? You can get emotes. You can potentially get, like, if they have a closed off Discord, you get Discord access if you're a sub. Really a ton of different options that you pay for in addition to just watching them for free. And that's just been the main argument. Like, Netflix is a paid platform. You can't watch anything on Netflix for free. Yep. You gotta pay for it. But Twitch isn't that way. You also don't get ads on Netflix. You get ads on Twitch. So, there's just a lot of back and forth in the argument. There really is. And it's creating a lot of drama. So we're not going to talk about like too much, but it is definitely news that happened this week, so we wanted to touch on it.
And I guess a big thing out of this, at least the point that I wanted to say, is that like anything can be taken out of context, just like you said. And if this is the reaction that the greater Twitch community on Twitter, on Twitch, on Reddit are having this reaction, right? Like, imagine what this looks like to the greater world, right?
To sponsors.
To sponsors and to just like in general, like I'm, at least in my life, when I explain what we do here at OPG, what we do for work, I need to explain what Twitch is to so many people. And a lot of these people are not like old fogey type people either, like people that don't, aren't as familiar with this stuff. They just don't necessarily always like know, or they've heard of Twitch but they've never watched before, something like that. So then these are the clips that they see, right? These are the things that these people.
The controversy and the drama gets the most attention.
That's what's gonna hit like even the like more traditional news cycle of like, oh hey, look what happened on this gaming platform site that people watch, right? Like
anything to make gaming look bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything to make gaming look bad. Yeah.
If you are broadcasting yourself to the internet,
be careful what you say.
Be careful what you say.
And this is something that we tell our clients too. We tell everybody that we can just be cognizant of what you're saying. If it can be taken out of context, what would that look like? Be careful what you say and what you do. You won't see like us tweeting drama, because Lord knows I want to tweet some drama. I want to drink the tea with y'all, but I try to be very careful about what I say because, you know, it's a dangerous world out there on the internet.
It really, really is. It's a weird place.
That was like really loud. Okay, you know what? I think we're finally done with the news segment.
I think so.
And look at that. It took me exactly how long as I thought it was going to take me to get through this section. I knew it. Now to talk about what we actually came here to talk about today.
Goals.
Right when I did that.
Producer Cam.
Oh no. We have producer Cam. She needs to put her arms up. Goals.
Yes. Goals, everybody.
The technology that we have, guys.
Yeah,
this is like real. We have the technology with producer Cam.
So, goals are good things to have. January is sort of the time of goals, right? Like it's a new year, everybody's trying to start off on a fresh foot and reflect on their accomplishments of, you know, the past, and like thinking about, hey, what do I want to do to make this new year good, right? So we like, and that's something that we hear from clients as well as our own personal stuff too. So that's kind of what we wanted to gear this show around, is like talk about some of our goals as well as talk about ways that you can set goals as well.
Good ways to go about setting and managing your goals as well.
Because everybody has had goals that they've set that they haven't accomplished, right? And like that doesn't feel awesome, but it's a very, very human experience, right?
Like everyone has done it.
Yeah, it's not something that you should beat yourself up over, but there are ways that you can approach your goal setting, which is this SMART acronym is a really good way.
Smart.
We'll dive into what that is, but a good way to just like approach goal setting to make it achievable for you.
And you know, we can start off like we posted some of our employee goals for 2020 up on Twitter. You can always check that out if you want to. If anybody wants to post a link in the chat, okay. Like mine is I joined a gym.
Yeah.
And that's not a goal necessarily because I did it, right? So I guess I already finished my goal. Woo! No. You know, my goal is to go to the gym, like on a regular basis. I want to go 3 times a week. You know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Have I been doing that consistently? The answer is no. But it's still January, and we got a chance. And I go at least once a week. And you know what? For me, personally, that's way more than I was doing anyway. Like all I was doing before was getting up in the morning, go to work, go home, have dinner, play games, go to bed. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that wasn't healthy. That's not good for me. And I kind of came to that realization. I was like, it's going to be different now. So that's my goal for the year, is to consistently go to the gym. And it's not even like, I'm not making a goal to myself to like lose weight or something like that. It's just go to the gym. It's so simple. It's just, that's it. I like simple goals because then I can't really mess them up. We'll see. Future Audrey will look back on this day and be like, past Audrey, what are you doing?
I have some goals as well. I'm trying to save more money this year, guys. Consistently put money in savings instead of, the classic ooh shiny approach, which has served me so well in my years.
Good approach.
Because it's something that I've experienced in my life where I'm like, I look at my bank account and I'm like, oh, I have some extra money this month. There's this thing that I've wanted. Let's do it. And not saying that that's a bad thing to treat yourself once in a while, but if you're treating yourself all the time,
like every 2 weeks,
then it's not really a treat anymore. Right. It's just you're just spending your money. So I'm trying to save more money this year.
Nice.
Tied into that is I'm trying to beat more games this year instead of starting games and then playing 10 or 20 hours and then jumping to the next thing. So my Steam library is incredibly full of games that I have either started and not beaten, or that I picked up because it was a really good deal and haven't played yet. Like Assassin's Creed Black
Flag. Like the entire Humble Bundle of all the Telltale games, and I'm like, I'm never gonna play all of these. I don't know what happened.
So I started, I beat Wolf Among Us
from
the Telltale collection already this year. I started it towards the end of last year, but we're gonna count it anyway. So those are my two.
Nice.
Those are my two goals.
I love those. Those are good goals. Those are good goals. So smart goals. Also, this is new to me. I didn't know about this until it was written out on this piece of paper to me. I actually didn't know this acronym existed, and I was like, this is awesome, actually. So it's a really good way to kind of create goals for yourself that are realistic and that are obtainable. And that's actually what it is. So S is specific, M is measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant, T is time bound, or timely is another one that people say. Specific, obviously, you're setting specific dates, numbers, schedules, etc. pertaining to your goal. So in this, you would avoid like vague goals like stream more or get more viewers. Like my goal is go to the gym consistently 3 days a week. That's my goal. Specific, 3 days a week, and that doesn't necessarily mean I have to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is my plan, but it's 3 days a week. Whatever in that 7-day week, as long as I go 3 days, I've reached my goal that week. So specific things like that.
Yes. Being specific is really good in that. It helps hold you accountable a little bit at least, because like for me, I'm not going to share it publicly, but there's an amount of money that I want to save every month, right? Like, broke down my budget. I'm like, okay, this is what we can save every month. So that's my specific goal, is to put this much money in my savings account by the end of every month.
Nice.
So, if the first half of the month is a little bit spendier than I want it to be, then the back half I'm going to be cutting back a little bit to achieve that specific goal.
Nice.
Because if it's save some money, if I have $5 left at the end and I throw that in there, admittedly $5 is better than zero.
Yep.
But,
it's still not.
It's not going to get us anywhere in 2020.
The specific number that you want.
Yep.
Yeah, specific goals are good.
Yes.
So if you are looking to become more consistent in streaming, how many days of the week do you plan on stream, or how many hours? Hours may be a better one to go with than days, just because
life is unpredictable.
Yes, you may be like, okay, I just 8 hours in this week.
Yep.
And so you may be streaming, and you're like, I'm gonna finish it all in one night, but then you get 2 hours in, and you're like exhausted. It's okay, you can do it another night in that same week. So I kind of prefer, like for myself, like hours to days in that kind of like, if it's like to do with streaming or something like that. But it's really up to you. It's what you think you can handle, and that kind of goes into the M, which is measurable. It's a smart approach. Okay. Measurable. It ensures that your goals are trackable in order to gauge your effectiveness. So you actually have to be able to like measure the thing that you're doing. So like streaming more. If you're just like more consistent and you're like, okay, well I streamed 1 hour last week, but I streamed 5 hours this week, that's more consistent. And it's like, but that's but not really. You haven't,
Yep.
like, what is your actual specific goal? It can't be specific if it's not measurable.
Yep.
We're going to go with that.
Yes.
Can't be measurable if it's not specific.
Yep. And
Both
it's good.
ways.
It's something that you can keep track of.
Yep.
Which,
Easy as
which
that.
is important.
Yeah.
These are
So
things like times or time or numbers or amounts.
Yeah.
Like these are things that are measurable. And
you may have to math a little bit. I know that's scary.
Yep.
It is for me at least. Like avoiding buzzwordy goals. Like build my brand. Because like how is that actually measurable? Like what are you going to do to build your brand? So that's you really have to break down your goals. And if you have multiple goals, that's totally fine.
Yep.
And that's probably good, you know. Then you have something to do after you've reached one goal. So building your brand may include creating your logo, streaming more consistently,
Yep.
building out community to this many followers, kind of just like different benchmarks for you. Yeah, makes sense. Measurable things.
Yes.
I like it.
A is attainable. So this means choose goals that are challenging but also achievable to you. So avoid taking on things that are like it's too much all at once, or that it's like really hard, like going to be hard to achieve. If you're starting out streaming and you know you've done a couple streams and you say, all right, I want by the end of the year my stream to have 1,000 concurrent viewers or 100,000 followers. Like, yeah, Fearless's goal is to get 1 million followers tomorrow.
You gotta get affiliated first.
It's good to have goals, and it's good that you specified the amount of followers that you want. It's measurable, but it's going to be really hard to do. Not for you specifically, Oliver, but for anybody.
Yeah, it won't be hard for you. That'll
yeah.
be easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But make sure that they're attainable.
Yes.
That they're realistic things for you to do. For example, if I am, want to save more money, but the saving more money, like I can afford to save this much money a month, but if I, cut out eating,
anything?
Yeah, eating food for the month, think of how
Just
much
eating.
more I could save. Unfortunately, that's not attainable because if I don't have food, I will die.
Yeah, you can't be like, all right, realistically, I can save 10% of my budget. But then being like, no, I can save 70%. It's like, that is a jump.
Yep.
And that's probably not something that's good.
Yes.
This is something in like weight loss that they talk about a lot, is when you set your weight loss goals to like, if you are at like 250 or something and you want to get down eventually to like 150, don't set 150 as your goal, because you're going to get frustrated really fast that you haven't lost 100 pounds, right? And, weight loss is really tedious and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. It takes a lot of energy and patience. So it's like set, 20-pound goals at a time, right? 250 to 230. 230 is my goal. And even that might be kind of a big jump. So like you got to do it what's measure or attainable for you. It may be that getting to 1 million followers is really attainable for somebody at 950,000, but not so much for somebody at like 5, right?
Yeah.
So you have to pay attention to yourself and not compare yourself to others when you're trying to find attainable goals.
Tying it back to streaming too, is we were talking about hours, like setting a goal if I want to stream this many hours a week. Set yourself a goal that's attainable. If you are working a full-time 40-hour-a-week job and you say, okay, I want to stream 40 hours a week, I want to be full-time streaming too, guys, that's going to be really hard to be attainable.
That's 2 full-time jobs.
You're working 2 full-time jobs, and if you you're going to be making sacrifices there already. Like you're going to be, if you're taking on a big project, you're going to be sacrificing something, whether it's your free time or whatever else. But don't sacrifice things like your sleep and your body and your mental health. Goals are there to help you improve yourself, and you're not going to improve yourself by not sleeping and by exhausting yourself doing this stuff.
I had to do the math. So if you work 40 hours a week and then you stream 40 hours a week, and this isn't even considering all the work you're going to do off stream as well, you have 88 hours left in a week. That's it. So you're basically splitting your week in half by the amount of time that you have to do anything, and this includes sleep and eat.
Yep.
You know, so, you know, if we're talking about sleep and you sleep 8 hours a night, well then it's gone already. Like, you're almost completely out of hours to do literally anything else. Like, even commute to your other job. So it just doesn't make any sense. You really have to think about that kind of stuff. And it's hard sometimes because you may be like, no, this is where I need to be. I need to get there. No matter what, I have to get there. But you really have to be realistic with yourself and kind of do that, like, internal inspection. You have to look in the mirror and find your true self. I don't know. I was trying to be, like, motivational, but it fell apart really fast. The R is relevant.
Yes.
Ensure that your goals, ensure that the goals you're reaching for are worthwhile. So actually, like, meaningful to your life. Avoid chasing goals that are disjointed or not valuable to your larger goals. And this is kind of what I meant by, like, breaking down your goals a little bit. If your goal ultimately is to build your brand or, build your brand, then breaking down your goals into relevant goals that are going to help you get there is kind of what you want to do. So it is a good idea to kind of come up with, like, your 5-year plan goal, you know, to really look ahead in the future and figure out what the end of that is. And then you can build out your individual goals from there. And you have to make sure it's relevant to what you're actually doing. Because if you're trying to be more consistent, you know, and you're like, okay, a certain amount of hours per week, I'll stream 8 hours per week to start. You wouldn't be like, I'm going to, you know, you're not going to include a goal in there of, like, I'm going to sleep this many hours in a week, because it's not, it's literally not relevant to your end goal of being more consistent streaming. You know, like it just doesn't make sense for that goal. It may make sense for something else if you're, like, trying to do, like, just be better at sleeping, which I am all the time, but that it wouldn't work in that context. So if that makes sense.
So yeah.
It's pretty, I think that one speaks for itself.
Yes,
relevant.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. And the last one here is time bound. This pertains to, like, deadlines, right? Like the time frame in which you would hope to accomplish these goals. Be sure to use things like deadlines to make sure that to hold yourself accountable and make sure that you achieve what you're setting out to do. So that on the flip side of this means avoid chasing goals or using goals that have a really ambiguous time frame.
Right. So, and this one I feel like is one of the harder ones to get.
It is, yes.
Because sometimes you're not really sure how long it's going to take you to really get somewhere with something and be consistent with it. Like, my going to the gym goal doesn't really have a time frame on it. It's just like, go 3 times a week. But when do I up that?
Yeah.
Or when do I lower that? Like, when do I stop paying attention to that goal and convert it into another goal? Because it's part of a larger goal, right? So it's like you have to really build out your list of individual goals in order to know when it's time to move on to the next one. It's like, I will go to the gym 3 times a week for the first 5 months. And then after that, what am I going to do? I have to figure that next part out. I'm going to stream 8 hours a week. And then, okay, I'm going to do this until I get to 3 months of doing that, because at that point, I've become consistent in streaming 3 hours a week. Then I'll bump it up to 12, maybe. And I'll do that for 3 months. And because 3 months is a good barrier to do things in when it becomes consistent. Because if you continue to do things like every day or every week or every month for 3 months, that's like you've really committed to it at that point. Like, you're serious about it and you can move on to the next level. But it really depends on you and kind of your tolerance for things, I guess, if that makes sense.
Exactly. I want to use an example of something that we do here at OPG. We kind of use the SMART system when we do our daily priority meetings. So after our big, like, morning stand-up meeting where we talk about the sort of like what's hot, what needs to happen today.
Who needs help with what?
Who needs help with what? We go through and break out and talk about our individual priorities, right? Like what do we individually, like what are the things that are on our plate? And we mention specific things. We'll say these 8 items specifically need to be handled today.
Like I need to send this email to this person today.
Exactly. We measure what this is, right? Like it's trackable in that, you know, like I can see, you know, the sent receipt on this email after I send it. Or if I'm doing reporting on one of our client sponsored streams, it's measurable in that I can mark this completed once it's done.
Which is a good feeling.
We try and make these attainable. We don't always finish everything that's on our plate every day.
In one day,
it's just not realistic. Things happen. But we do try and make it realistic and attainable, relevant to the work that we're doing and that our clients are taking on. And we associate times with each action item as well. So we'll say, hey, this thing should take 5 minutes. This should take me 30, or this should take me an hour to do. And some of these things change.
It can definitely change constantly. Like that's how work is. So, you know, you roll with the changes.
Yes, but we try and put that amount of time so that we can plan our days out accordingly, saying like, hey, this is a little bit of a larger project, so I'm going to carve out this chunk of my afternoon to do it.
And then at that same time, you realize who can help you with your priorities, which goes really well in with goals. Like, if somebody has a similar goal to you, you can probably help each other reach that goal together. And doing goals with someone else and keeping each other accountable. It's like everything in the word. Keeping each other accountable for it, it actually makes people more successful in achieving their goals. I recently read like a study about this too. And so there's some sort of actual scientific percentage. But if you are doing something with someone else and you have somebody accountable for what you're doing, then you're more likely to achieve what you're doing. So share your goals. Like, tell people what your goals are. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, social media helps so much with goal achieving because you put it out there into the universe, and now all the people who read your stuff or follow you know that that's what you're trying to do. And then if a year down the line it's like, I don't go to the gym anymore, people will be like, why? What'd you do? Why did you stop going? What happened? And you don't want to answer them. So you better just do your goal, and then you don't have to answer all the naysayers out there. You just, no, I'm fucking awesome, I did my thing. So I don't know, social media for me is like a motivator like that. It's not true for everybody. You really have to find what works for you, but yeah. If you use the SMART template, they kind of give you new. Look, what are some goals that you guys want to achieve in chat? Chat, tell me your goals. Tell me what you want to do, and then I'll judge you. I'm just kidding. I won't judge you at all. I love you.
In the meantime, can I tell you about one of my goals that I achieved last year?
Yes, please.
As a matter of fact.
Yes.
It's real nerdy. I played World of Warcraft. WoW Classic came out. And I never got to max level when I played, you know, way back in the day in high school. I never got to level 60. So WoW Classic came out, and I was like, I want to go in there. I want to level my character up to level 60, and I want to clear the raid, Molten Core, when it comes out. And I did it. And I got my staff. I got my benediction staff on my priest.
Benediction staff.
So your goals are achievable.
You can do it.
That's the message of my story.
You can do it.
Yeah. So.
Just like Hal Gilmore.
And there's other little things that go into it too. Like, for example, my raid nights are Tuesdays and Thursdays. So those are times that I carved out those few hours to, you know, play the game with the raid group and get through content. And it meant I come into work a little bit early on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I can leave in time to get back and get food in me and, you know, be prepped.
Be ready for raiding.
Exactly.
Pims, her goal last year was to get a new job. Good job, you did it.
She did it.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
But But, Pims, I am going to judge you on your goal because your goal just says, I want to paint with the Bob Ross thing.
Yeah.
Is that specific? Is that a specific goal?
Mm-hmm.
Is it measurable?
Yep.
How many are you going to paint? What are you going to paint? Why are you going to paint? How are you going to paint? I'm getting a little silly now. What are you going to paint? Ooh. Is it attainable? Well, you got to figure out if it's measurable first and then figure out if it's attainable.
Yeah.
It's probably relevant. It seems relevant to me. What's the timetable on that? Can you send me your report, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to try to beat 3 games this year is what Fearless says. I wasn't ready for these questions. Because I've never completed games. Yes! Do it! 3 games. 3 games is definitely attainable. I know you can do that. And I think that's a good goal. It's the whole year. You have the whole year to do it. I think you're going to finish it before half the year is up. I believe in you.
Here, 3 games that you can beat right here. Dota.
That doesn't count.
Magic.
That doesn't count.
And Call of Duty multiplayer.
No. They got to be like single player experience story missions.
You got to beat all 3 of those, Oliver.
He's beat them all already. Done in 5 minutes, right? Don't just listen to why I never complete games. Yeah, all those reasons are why you never finish anything. I want to play at least like 5 hours a week. There you go. That's pretty good. That seems specific. It seems measurable. Have I done 5 hours? Yes, check. Attainable, definitely. Feels attainable to me. Relevant, obviously. And time bound.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it. Thanks, chat. I just grilled Pims in front of everybody.
Yeah, and I made fun of Fearless. I realize now that maybe we're
the worst.
We made all of our viewers.
Nobody's like, I don't want to say my goal.
Not be very forthcoming.
She said she was gonna judge me. I don't want to be judged. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
But feel free to continue to share them with us.
We're happy to help you on your journey to your goals.
Yes. And even if you want to ask us about things that are not goals related, we are talking about goals today, but you can ask us other questions. We're here for you.
We're an open book.
We're an open book, just like that. Or magazine, or even Kindle.
Maybe even an open zine. We're getting real edgy here.
Yeah.
Real edgy, yeah.
Yep.
We're an open stream. I mean, not super open. If you ask crazy stuff, I might just ban you. But
yeah.
But ask away. Seriously, we can talk about whatever you want.
Almost whatever you want.
Sorry.
If you want to ask us a question that you don't want to write in chat, you'd prefer to write it in Twitter, you can tweet it at us with hashtag AskOPG.
I'm gonna check it now. Nobody's gonna have said
That's
anything.
That's a thing that you can tweet at us. Ask OPG. Hashtag Ask OPG.
Hashtag. Like Tim just said in chat. Yeah, exactly.
So the next point on here is
content goals.
Yes, it's content goals. That's our next. That's our whole next section.
We actually kind of talked about this a little bit during our other one because we were definitely paying attention.
Yep.
I'm watching it. This is Fearless. But January, obviously, is an extremely popular month for people to set goals for the year. It's the new year. New year, new me is the thing that everybody says. There's a lot of opportunity to set goals in the new year because a lot of things that your goal may be related to are kind of offered up in this time of the year. And so it's a good time to pay attention to those things. If your goal involves something that you're going to have to pay for, pay attention because it's probably I think Masterclass is having a huge sale on things, so if you want to learn stuff, you can go on Masterclass and check things out. Obviously gyms always have deals this time of year if you're gym related. But this is the perfect time to kind of make those goals because you have literally the rest of the year to finish things out if your timetable is for that long.
I think the Steam Lunar Sale is going on if you're trying to beat games.
See, this is a bad one for you.
Yeah.
But it's a good one for Oliver. I saw Jedi Fallen Order was on sale. So there you go. Let's see, what can he finish? You can't finish City Skylines. It is actually a finishable game. Remnant. Oh my god,
Remnant
I
from
need to
the
finish Remnant
Ashes.
from the Ashes.
I also need to finish
Hey.
Remnant from the Ashes. Far Cry 5.
Ooh, that's a good
It was
one.
really popular. That is a story game, so you can do it. Planet Zoo. I don't know if you can finish it, but you can
I bet you could.
have cute animals.
You can have cute animals.
Yeah.
Cuphead, which is
Cuphead.
such a good game. Oh my god.
Doom is on sale if you want to get prepped for Doom Eternal. Gears of War 5. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is $12.
Oh my god.
That's a steal, y'all. No ad. I just really like that game.
Ooh, Red Dead Redemption 2 is
Red
50
Dead's
bucks
on
right
sale.
now.
Yep.
Oh no, this is bad. We shouldn't be looking at this.
Yeah, this is. So I'm gonna close this tab.
Like, there's too many good
Yeah.
deals. I did get an email last night that was like, 2 of your things on your wish list are on sale. I'm like, please don't do this to me.
Yep.
Like, don't. I
Yeah.
can't.
It told me about all the 2 Point Hospital DLC.
So I got a 2 Point Hospital email, and I have 2 Point Hospital.
Yep.
And it was telling me it was 66% off. I'm like, but I have it. I'm good. I don't need this email.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
So
Steam
yeah.
is just like, buy everything.
So yeah,
Give us your wallet.
like, if you are a content creator, set goals that are related to your content, right? If you're trying to achieve more in that space, and they can be specifically related to your content, which is maybe it's streaming on a more consistent schedule, or you know, like revamping your branding and making it all consistent.
Which is definitely something I would recommend.
Yep. Yes.
Try to make your name the same everywhere. It can be really hard because everyone is on social media now.
Yep.
Like for me, I can't get Audrey Rar on Twitter. I can only have the Audrey Rar. It's really annoying. But try to get as close as you can. Because it'll be easy for people to find you.
Yep.
Reaching analytical milestones, so like followers or viewers. Be careful about this one. Make sure you're making attainable goals, especially when goals rely on other people to do something that relates to it. So you can stream and stream and stream and do everything right and be like the perfect content creator, but other people have to be convinced to press that button.
Yep.
So be very careful when you make kind of goals about followers or viewers or subs or anything like that, and make sure they're attainable for you. That's my pro tip for the day.
Yeah.
Smile.
Some folks will set goals to participate in charity streams and raise money for charity, which is a very noble goal.
Very noble goal.
Thank you for the people who do that. That's real cool. Stream or beat, whatever amount of games.
Yeah.
If
like
you
Oliver's goal.
There's also other goals that you can do that can be like relevant if you're a content creator, which are things that we encourage our clients to do, like take a vacation this year.
Please.
It could even be only one vacation.
Take one vacation
Take
this year. If you
take
never take a
one-
vacation,
That's progress. That's a
You've
really big.
made a 100% boost in your vacation taking.
Exactly.
If you may take one, so.
Yeah, and
I think that's not how it works.
yeah, or you said earlier even sleeping.
Yeah, it actually is like a real goal.
Get 8 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah. It's what are vacations?
Exactly. Well, we see that question asked a lot of times. And
Vacations are things where you get away from your house and your usual setup, and you just go somewhere and you just be.
Yep.
That's the best kind of vacation, in my opinion. A lot of the time, sometimes you need a vacation from a vacation. Like, you get back. This is what Vegas does to me. I can't go to Vegas as vacation, like, realistically, if it's more than 3 days.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 days is it.
Yep.
That is it.
You're
If it's
capped
more than
out.
3 days, like, I'm not going outside anymore. It's exhausting. So you have to be careful about your vacations, but do just go somewhere and, like, just be somewhere else, Jeremiah Hitchin says 8 hours of sleep a night, lol.
Not everybody needs 8 hours.
I
of sleep.
agree.
Not
I got
everybody
6
does.
hours and I'm, like, chipper
Yeah.
AF today.
Yep.
So who knows?
I am a person that needs 8 hours of sleep a night.
More power to you.
Otherwise, I am useless. So,
I found out recently that I'm on, like, a 3-hour schedule. So, like, 3 hours of, like, sleep. And because that's, like, my whole cycle. Like, it's, like, the getting ready into REM and then REM sleep and then, like, coming down. And that's, like, a whole 3-hour thing for me. So I usually will wake up, like, every 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even notice. I woke up, like, 3.
yeah.
Mostly because my cat knocked over a bunch of stuff, but that's a different story. But then like at 6, I was like ready to be up again. And then, but that's the thing, I can't go back to bed at that point because then I should just get ready for work. Instead, most of the time I don't do that, and I go back to bed, and then I had to pull myself out at like 9:30, which is a bad thing because we're supposed to be here at 10.
Yep.
So, that's part of it though, like realizing what works for you. Like if you can do something for only a certain amount of time, realize that that's just the way it's going to be, and you can make that better, but you have to train yourself to be different, right?
Yep.
So like me saying, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 20 hours in a week is like 100% not an attainable goal for me. That is totally attainable for some people.
That's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours, but some people do it. Even me just being like 5 days a week or like 7 days a week, no, not at all attainable for me. And I'm realistic about that. So like, you have to be realistic about the time that you have and what you can do. So if it's like 30 hours a week of streaming is not realistic for me.
Yeah.
So being like 8 hours of streaming, I could probably do that in a week. You know what I mean? So I know I've said it like a billion times. Just be realistic, people. Come on.
Yep, exactly.
Speaking of the cats, they can hear your voice and are looking for you. Oh my God, why you make me sad?
That's adorable.
Jeremiah Hitchin is my husband, everybody. He's over here. And he's talking about our kitty cat Caesar salad and tuna salad. And now they're looking for me, and Tuna's probably gonna cry. Why you make me sad? I'm just depressed. I need to leave. I need to go home, be with my babies. Anyway.
So yeah, guys, set goals for yourself. Don't make them crazy. Don't make them unattainable or irrelevant or untimely. I don't know where I'm going. Or unmeasurable or not specific. Make them the opposite of all of those things.
You know, this is going to sound really weird, but something that something I learned from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Okay. Yep.
On Netflix. About attaining goals and getting to a place where it's like you want to reach the finish line, but it's really hard.
Yep.
Is counting stuff out. Because everybody can kind of handle something for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And like, while this was kind of a joke in the show, it actually, to me, like has a lot of realistic, like real life relations, right? So something in the show, if you've never seen the show Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, it's really weird. It's about a girl who like gets kidnapped by some crazy dude who said the world is over when she was a kid. Put her in a basement with some other people. It sounds really dark, but it's a comedy. Just go with it. It's on Netflix. Look it up. But like part of it is they had to like turn this wheel thing that was really heavy so they could keep the electricity on. So they all had shifts in doing this. So she would turn this thing. She hated doing it, and she was really weak. And so she would count to 10, and she would just do 10 like cycles. And then she was like, okay, it's good. And then I'll restart my cycle. And it was okay because like even though she's still doing the same thing, the counting kind of helped her get there. Sounds weird, but if you're having trouble reaching your goal, think of something like that. Like, how can you kind of like measure it out in your head that makes it just break down even more and make it even more easy for you to attain? So if you set an original goal that you thought was attainable, but maybe not as attainable as it ended up needing to be, you can kind of fiddle around with it. That's like, that seemed really weird, but I hope it helped. I don't know.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's see. Getting out of the bunker your crazy kidnapper has trapped you in is a good goal. It's true.
It wasn't even her goal. It was an accident.
Yeah.
Somebody found them. Y'all should just watch the show. It's a great show.
Well, so if she had set specific goals,
very specific goals,
she could have done something like requesting a rock kit, you know, and a poster, and then slowly chiseling away a hole.
So like our friend Andy Dufresne did in the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Exactly that. Exactly that. See, he had very specific goals. I appreciate that.
That was on a long timetable. That goal was like, it took him a few years on that one.
He's playing a long game.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in prison, what else you got to do? Like, oh my God, I can't believe
So have goals,
movie
people.
talk.
Yeah. Does anybody have questions for us? I think that pretty much does
sums
it with
up
goals.
for the day.
You've learned a lot about us and both our media preferences as well as our goals that we've made for the year. If you have goals, let us hear about them.
Yeah, I love hearing about goals.
Yep.
I love trying to help people with that kind of stuff too, because Lord knows, oh God, sorry. Lord knows I have trouble doing it myself. So I'm happy to help others do it because it makes me feel better. So always DM me if you need help on anything. I'm here to help. I'm sorry. I just hit the microphone, everybody. God, I'm the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, it does also require that the guards never look behind your poster.
You know, and in every other prison thing I've seen, they always like rip those posters off the walls.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
like,
got lucky.
Like, I mean, they're in a concrete cell, right? Like, he can't really put a push pin in there.
How did he get that? Was it tape?
It must have been, yeah,
He must
like
have,
tape
like, putty,
or,
you know?
yeah, or sticky tack.
You know, like the sticky tack, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you get a good draft in there,
The thing just
you know,
flies
it's gonna
right up.
Fly.
That's dangerous.
It could,
What stopped rats from like crawling?
yeah, and it goes into the sewage, so like you think it would have smelled real bad.
You also think they would have noticed like at times where he just like lifts up this poster and crawls inside a wall, or they just be like, "Where's Andy?"
Yeah.
I guess he just went in his hole in his wall. Like,
I'd imagine he like would like time it out so that like the guard walks past at the same time every night, and he like knows, and he's like all dressed. He's like in bed, but like dressed and ready to go, shoes on and everything, and like the guard walks past him, and he's like, "It's my time," and he
like, but you gotta go in there and chisel more. You gotta do more chiseling. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that seems just. Also, he was really lucky that he got placed in a cell that wasn't just next to another cell.
yeah, because then he
just crawls into that guy's cell. What does office hours become? Where are we going?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah.
If you guys don't have any questions for us and you just want us to hear laughing at us, we can do that another time. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, indeed.
On office hours.
If you think of a question for us, go ahead and tweet it at us. #AskOPG. And we will make sure that we cover it next week.
We're still paying attention. We always pay attention to that hashtag and to our account. DM us, whatever you got to do.
Yep.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a ton for coming and watching.
Adios, amigos.
We had fun. Hope you had fun. Hope this was